I have been sitting in this Greyhound bus for the last 8 hours, and I haven't slept a wink. It's 7 a.m. in the morning, and my neighbor, both on my left, my right, are snorers. And lucky me, they like to sleep on their sides. It's like a bad disco on wheels. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, how many of you know what I went through? How many of us here have spent a night on a Greyhound bus? So you two, the three, will know what I felt. The lethargy that comes with it. And you might also know how happy I was when the bus curved into a petrol station and the doors slammed open and the bus driver yelled out, "Rockhampton, Queensland, you get out." Because this was my stop. And I was really happy. I stepped out of the Greyhound bus. I was in the middle of an empty road, lined up with gas stations, closed pubs, and shops covered in graffiti. And I said to myself, gee, this isn't Rockhampton, Queensland. This is Parramatta Road. Or worse, I'm actually in America. Oh my God! Ladies and gentlemen, traveling solo was not supposed to be like this. A couple of days before, I was actually looking forward to stepping out into a strange town. And if I had to have snoring neighbors on the bus, they would have to be girls, they would have to be pretty, and they had better like to snuggle. And it got worse. It got worse. Anyone here from Queensland? Good, that's great. That's great. Because at 7 a.m. that morning, a little Asian dude in a Queensland town, I was scared. I was scared. And that morning, as I walked around Queensland, Rockhampton, Queensland, all I saw was brown-colored rivers and muddy parklands. And I read this book, Down Under by Bill Bryson. He said that Queenslanders are madder than cut snakes. Queenslanders are madder than cut snakes. I don't really know how mad cut snakes are, but I was really curious how mad Queenslanders can get. So that morning, I saw this lady having breakfast at a cafe. So I gave her a nice, big, warm Sydney cider smile. And I said to her, "Good morning." And she looked up at me. And she said to me, "What in the fornication are you looking at, bro?" And you know the scariest part? I'm not even paraphrasing. Thanks, Carl. And there was only 2 tourist attractions in Rockhampton, Queensland, and one of them was the local post office. So call me adventurous. I actually took the other option, which was to go into this reconstructed village. It's like a replica of a Wild West town. So I went in there, and for a day pass, I paid $5. And the guy took my money, and he looked at me all weird, you know, as he had never seen an Asian before, or a tourist in that place before, or possibly both. And I actually liked the place, this tourist attraction in the eastern side of town. They actually reconstructed old buildings, old churches, old schools, old garages, and laid them out in this village. And I was walking around having a grand time when I heard a sound from behind me. Honk, honk. There was this big black antique car coming towards me, and behind the wheels was this big fat dude with beard, long beard, and tattoos all over his arms up to his neck. All right, to me, he looked like a convict really getting away from the reconstructed prison. But he stopped right next to me, and he looked up at me, and he said, "Good day, mate. My name is Drew, and I'm a volunteer running this village. Where are you from, and what are you doing in Hampton?" And I said, "Well, good day, Drew. I'm from Sydney, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing in Hampton." "Ah, I've heard that so many times before, Kris. All I have to say is 2 words that will solve your problems. Capricorn Coast." Capricorn Coast? Where is that? It's in the eastern side of Queensland. Just take the bus due east. So I took the bus east to the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. Capricorn Coast is the coastline at the eastern tip of Australia. What it is just basically a beach, but it just stretches on either side as far as your eyes can see. And on that afternoon, it was late November 2007, I was in the Capricorn coast, and the sky was just so blue, and the wind was breathing through my cheeks, and the sun was warming the whole place up, and I was completely happy. And I walked up Capricorn coast, and I walked for 5 hours. And I will have walked for 5 more hours, it's just that the sun was setting, and I wanted to go back to Rockhampton before it got dark. Before I left, there was this big massive boulder at the entrance to Capricorn coast. I stepped up on that boulder, and I looked up at the majestic ocean right in front of me. And for some reason, all the fear that I had throughout the day just disappeared. And I really felt like I was quite Caine from the TV series Kung Fu. Because just like him, I'm another stranger in another strange town. Before I got onto another Greyhound bus that night, along with another snorer, I just found it ironic, really, how a day that started off with almost nothing ended up with so many somethings, even if it's just tiny little things. And I guess that's really what life can be about. It's not really about knowing where you are, or where you are going to be going, or if it's going to be safe. I guess the trick is to just appreciate the tiny little things that come along the way. And perhaps let them guide you, because they might just take you to a place that is so much better than you could ever have expected. So Rockhampton, Queensland was my Kung Fu journey. On that day, I was a lone explorer walking the earth.